this is going to resolve an issue which has been lingering for a very long time. For those who have been completely ignorant about the issues plaguing the state of Manipur, perhaps photo ops is the only answer. But the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about two communities who have been at loggerheads for a very long time. And the reason behind it is something that cannot perhaps be resolved with just politicians landing in Manipur and hoping that this is going to heal their wounds. Would that really happen? And whether at all there is a long-term solution in sight. All that and much more on this edition of This is Exclusive. We'll get you the opposition voices, but also raise this entire question, whether at all can the ruling dispensation essentially say that why exactly is the opposition parties coming to Manipur and not going to the state of Bengal, or for that matter Rajasthan? Is this once again whataboutery, or is there merit to the argument put forth by the ruling dispensation? Let's first take a look at the headlines and then we take you through the ground reports coming in from Manipur.
We are going to represent the demand of the people. We have not come on with our own demand. We have come to represent the people of Manipur and their concern.
Yes.
No end to politics over Manipur. 20-member opposition delegation in Imphal visits violence-hit areas.
और आज ये I.N.D.I.A के जो सदस्य हैं, ये मणिपुर से जब वापस आए तो मेरा निवेदन है, संसद तो आप चलने नहीं देंगे, तो अधीर रंजन चौधरी जी अपने पश्चिम बंगाल प्रदेश में भी लाइए.
Anurag Thakur Stam's opposition says they never spoke when Manipur suffered under previous regime. CBI formally takes over investigation into the Manipur viral video case, conspiracy to be probed.
Why is he visiting Kolkata? Why is he visiting Bengal? Why are they not going to Manipur? The Prime Minister is silent on Manipur. The union ministers are silent on Manipur. He should be in Manipur now. He is here in Bengal and speaks about violence.
TMC's winning candidate shot dead. Anurag Thakur questions law and order. TMC hits back. Udupi filming controversy gets bigger. Siddaramaiah says probe underway, don't politicize. BJP revamps team for 2024. Anil, Anthony and Bandi Sanjay get national role. Dilip Ghosh left out. Well, started the edition with a top focus. It's on Manipur, ladies and gentlemen, and there is a reason why, that we are putting a full focus on what's really happening in Manipur. While the government says that they have been able to control the situation and they say that there is an agreement in sight, talks are already underway. While the peace talks are happening, is it appropriate on the part of the opposition parties to play politics over this entire matter? While they have merit in one argument perhaps, that the ruling dispensation perhaps would have viewed this matter in a much more humane manner. But at a crucial juncture when there are peace talks underway, whether this photo ops politics essentially helps in the situation. Now, ahead of the much awaited discussion in the Lok Sabha on a no confidence motion moved by the opposition, I.N.D.I.A alliance against the government, over 20 members. It's a multi-party delegation of parliamentarians from the opposition parties who are visiting the violence-hit regions of Manipur and the relief camps today as well as tomorrow. The delegations will have parliamentarians from 16 parties. Ahead of their visit, Republic spoke exclusively to some of the members of the delegation, which also includes the deputy leader in Lok Sabha, The Congress party, Gaurav Gogoi, who's a member of the delegation, apart from him, also have spoken to Trinamool Congress's Shushmita Deb. They've demanded an inquiry under a retired Supreme Court judge looking into the violence that has rocked Manipur. Take a look at this report and then we get you ground report filed by my colleague I.N.D.I.A.
After disrupting the parliament for 7 days, causing log jam on Manipur violence, the I.N.D.I.A bloc is in the violence-struck state.
देखिए अभी भी हम लोग कैंप में हैं, इससे साफ साफ जाहिर है कि उनका विश्वास सरकार पे नहीं है कि वो अपने घर वापस जा पाए। लगभग इसी एक ज़िले में 15,000 लोग हमको जो कहा गया है कि शिविर में हैं, तो आज भी लोगों के बीच में जो डर है, उस डर को ये सरकार निकाल नहीं पाई है।
They first visited the rioted town of Churachandpur in Manipur, where they met Kuki leaders and members of the civil society, besides ethnic strife victims in the relief camps where they were lodged.
We are with the people of the Manipur as a whole. We do not want to see any difference between any communities whosoever. Methi, Kuki, Naga, Chin, all are our brothers and sisters. Government has to put their bum so as to restore the situation, so as to assuage the feeling. People have been living under constant fear and intimidation.
They are expected to speak to both the communities.
आप पहले रिलीफ कैंप में आए हैं ऑल इंडिया अलायंस के जितना सांसदगण हैं और ये तय है कि मणिपुर में सिचुएशन इम्प्रूव नहीं हो रही। बात एक तरफ तो गोलियां चल रही है और दूसरी तरफ इतने बुजुर्ग महिलाएं, बच्चे, स्टूडेंट्स जो रिलीफ कैंप में हैं, ये कब घर वापस जाएंगे इनको नहीं पता, इनका घर जला दिया गया है। मैं ये उम्मीद करती हूँ कि सरकार अगर कहती है कि मणिपुर में सिचुएशन इम्प्रूव करना चाहती तो इनको घर बेचने का आप पहले तैयारी करिए।
The government is calling this a photo op.
बंगाल की जनता ने बता दिया है कि ममता जी आपसे जनता दुखी है, त्रस्त है। लेकिन मेरा सवाल कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेताओं से है, विपक्षी दल के कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी के नेताओं से है, क्या जब उनके नेता यहाँ पर मर रहे हैं, जिनको मारा जा रहा है, मारपीट हो रही है, तो क्या कांग्रेस और कम्युनिस्ट अपने कार्यकर्ताओं को बंगाल की धरती पे मरते रहने देंगे, मारपीट होने देंगे, लोकतंत्र की हत्या होने देंगे?
The peace talks between communities is gathering pace. Should the politics over Manipur stop? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Well, the visit is aimed at mounting pressure on the government, which had been stonewalling opposition demands for a suo motu statement by the Prime Minister on the Manipur situation. Now, what has essentially happened that 7 sessions of the Parliament, the proceedings were stalled, and all 7 days we saw ruckus, protests, walkouts, you name it. Everything was essentially done by the opposition to corner the government. Now, according to the government, the peace talks are underway with both the communities, and that normalcy could be a reality soon in Manipur. But the bigger question here is that if there is a peace pact that is being worked upon, will the opposition add fuel to the fire? And moreover, I.N.D.I.A's visit to Manipur is merely a photo op. While that's one set of the argument, the other essentially being is that while you have had BJP delegations immediately going to the state of West Bengal, which they have rightfully done so, number of lives have been lost due to the panchayat polls. But the question here is that why exactly hasn't the centre really also sent a delegation there to look into the matter? The fact of the matter is that there is politics that is essentially being played over this entire issue. Take a look at this report filed by my colleague I.N.D.I.A, who spoke to some of the opposition leaders, asked them the question as to the motive really behind this particular visit. Here's what they had to say.
I.N.D.I.A leaders who are on a two-day visit of Manipur were divided into two teams. One team has just arrived at the airport right now. They were on a visit of Churachandpur. Adiranjan Chaudhary is with us. Adira, I would like to know from you, what have you seen in Churachandpur and what is your first thoughts on it?
See, common people are reeling under a severe stress and strain. They do not know what is lying ahead for them. A total uncertainty has been gripping the entire society.
Now where are you going?
Now, Moirang.
Now they will be going to Moirang. We also have the other leaders. So what are your thoughts on what you have witnessed in the relief camps that you have visited so far in Churachandpur?
Horrifying, disturbing, very disturbing visuals. And if it does not shake the conscience of the people who matter, I'm worried about my republic.
What would you say on the victims on the both sides? It's not about the particular communities.
I know the first priority for us should be to restore inter-community peaceful coexistence relationship. That's what we are here for. Psychological healing, nothing else.
This was the leaders from the I.N.D.I.A who have just arrived at the Imphal airport. They have arrived from Churachandpur. There are more leaders coming out. Susmita Dev and is also in the team which went to Churachandpur, and now they are on their way to Moirang. Right now we are still outside the Imphal airport and we are expecting that more leaders are going to come out.
Well, let's take a look at what are the issues that is now being faced and what exactly needs to be resolved. To begin with, we are talking about two communities and there is a clear divide. The divide between the Meiteis and Kukis. The Meiteis who've largely been confined to the valley area of Manipur and the hill area largely being dominated by the Kukis. Remember, they are sparsely populated, but the fact of the matter is that there is very little perhaps coexistence between both the tribes. And that is exactly why we have essentially seen that there is very little that has been done over the last couple of months. And there seems to be a trust deficit which is only growing over a period of time. That is exactly why the government says that they are trying to work out a peace formula, bringing both the communities together. They say that the talks have been going in fact, multiple rounds of talks have already taken place. There is one more issue, which is again very contentious because that leads to some sort of a polarization when it comes to the state of Manipur. And we're talking about the illegal immigrants, which, ladies and gentlemen, is also a reality that many would not really like to focus on. But that's the area that one will have to talk about. It's the illegal immigration coming in from Myanmar. Now, over the last 3 years, at least more than 3,000 illegal immigrants have entered the state. Though many have returned, few have shifted to other neighboring states like Mizoram as well as Nagaland. And the threat that has been posed by the illegal immigration from Myanmar towards India's internal security remains to be quite high. And the fact that the Indo-Myanmar border is porous, there exists free movement regime along the border which enables people from both sides to move freely up to about 16 kilometers from the international border on either side without any passport and visa. Now that's part of an accord. Now, with the government keeping a tab on the refugees from Myanmar, Republic has also got an exclusive report from the detention center in Imphal East, where the NCRB is essentially now collecting biometrics of over 100 refugees with a big focus on national security. And what we have seen over the last few days is that the Ministry of External Affairs has basically raised this entire matter through the Ministry of External Affairs with Myanmar with regards to the movement of Myanmaris and how exactly that has led to a situation where few, remember, have turned out to become illegal immigrants who've made their base here in India. And that's where the problem lies. There have also been questions raised about fake IDs that have essentially been used. But that, remember, ladies and gentlemen, in today's context has become an issue which the ruling dispensation finds extremely difficult to deal with.
We are at the Foreigners Detention Center in Sajiwa. This is a high security detention center, and as you can see, if I can ask my video journalist Ashok to show you the surrounding, it's a very, very high security zone, and Republic TV is the only channel to get access inside this detention center to bring you this ground report so that we can bring you the real picture of the various threats that the state of Manipur has been facing. Let me tell you that there are more than 300 detained Myanmar nationals in the state of Myanmar, and right now at the Foreigners Detention Center in Sajiwa there are 103 Myanmarese national whose biometrics will be recorded today, and we will bring you the entire procedure only on Republic Media Network. We are right now at the overview watchtower of the Sajiwa Foreigners Detention Center, and you can see there are multiple number of cells that has been made out here, and in this particular enclave there are 4 dormitories, and in these 4 dormitories there are the male inmates of Myanmar who have been detained by Manipur police and have been kept in detention center. There are a total of 103 number of illegal immigrants from Myanmar who have been detained by the Manipur police over the last few years, and the enclaves or the cells inside the detention center have been divided as sector, and in sector 6 are the male inmates of the Sajiwa Foreigners Detention Center, and in sector 2 are the female inmates of this center. The female inmates are being provided with Manipur women police officials and constables who keep a check on them, and the male inmates are locked in this particular sector. Initials from the NCRB are here, and they will be recording the biometrics of all the detainees who are from neighboring Myanmar. It may be mentioned that the biometrics will be shared with all the agencies, particularly the passport system, that is the External Affairs Ministry, as well as the Aadhaar Data Collection Center, and also with the Election Commission of India. The biometric collection procedure is a part of the government's initiative in order to ensure that the illegal immigrants or the detained foreigners do not make it to the voter list or get themselves an Aadhaar card or get a passport issued as an Indian citizen. We are bringing you visuals from inside the Foreigners Detention Center in Sajiwa, and now the fingerprint of the illegal immigrants who have fled to India from Myanmar are being collected. You can see the procedure. The NCRB officials who are here are closely monitoring the situation, and they are guiding the inmates as well as the officials of Manipur Jail Services and the Home Department of Manipur on how to record the fingerprints. Since the electronic fingerprint recording system has not been set up yet in this particular detention center, it is being collected through ink. Special ink has been brought in, and this special flawless fingerprint ink will record the fingerprints of all the inmates, of all the 103. There are 104 inmates in this detention center, of which 103 will be recording their fingerprints.
Let me also quickly go across to my colleague Anirudh, who's joining us on this broadcast. Anirudh, first give us a sense of the situation on the ground. Is it correct to say that Manipur is limping back to normalcy, or perhaps it is an exaggeration on the part of the government?
Yes, Awan, definitely the situation is slightly improving as far as the overall law and order situation is concerned. Yesterday, the Ministry of Home Affairs was also informed that there have been no casualties since July 17. And yes, some sporadic incidents of firing are being reported. In fact, we have also reported how firing was on in the different parts of Bishnupur and Churachandpur district yesterday, and also day before yesterday. Meanwhile, today, a massive demonstration of strength was witnessed in the city of Imphal, with the Kokomi calling a rally where around 4 lakh, close to 4 lakh people attended the rally, and they have demanded that immediately NRC should be implemented fully in the state of Manipur, and also that a resolution should be taken up by the Manipur Legislative Assembly that there will be no separate administration for anyone in the state of Manipur. They have said that they have in fact given a deadline that by 5th of August, the assembly should be convened and a resolution should be taken by the state government. This is what the Kokomi has said. They have also put forward 3 more resolutions, that is crackdown on the illegal drug trade which is on from Myanmar, and also to keep a check on the influx that is happening from the neighboring country of Myanmar, because mostly the drug that goes to the other parts of India is trafficked through the northeast. It enters India through either Manipur, Mizoram, or Nagaland, and then goes to different parts of India. It's not only a matter of drug trade that poses a threat to the northeast, but also in terms of internal security, it is a great issue of concern for entire India. That is what also the opposition should realize, that they are not talking about 2 ethnic communities clashing between each other, but it is for a greater national interest that a debate should be allowed. Sawan.
Well, thank you very much, Anirudh, for getting us the latest update from Manipur. We'll step into a short break. On the other side, we'll get you another ground report from Manipur.
Amity School of Communication has been ranked among India's top 5 mass comm institutes for the last 3 years by India Today, a testimony to its most high-tech studios, senior professionals as faculty, and placements in leading media organizations. To apply, visit amity.edu.
टेररिस्ट अटैक था
सर।
आप उस समय कहाँ पे थी? आपने क्या देखा? आंखों देखी?
सर, मैं JNK में posted थी from 2018 to 2020. I remember on 29th of February, the morning at 9:30, which was not expected, the airstrike had happened. And while I was standing out in my office, I actually saw an aircraft burst into flame in front of my own eyes. After that, somewhere it started to sink inside my head that, oh, this is something what has happened. This could have been your last day.
कैसे लगा आपको जब आप पहले मुंबई की हैं आप और मुंबई से आप पहुंची एकेडमी?
मैं तभी पुशअप्स वगैरह मारती थी। मैंने जाते ही मेरे एक सीनियर बोला आप एक पुशअप कर पाओगे? मैंने डेमो टाइप 20 पुशअप किए थे तभी। पहले दिन पे मैम ने हर कैडेट को मेरे को दिखाया, देखो पुशअप्स करती है, पुशअप करती है। सेकेंड डे से जो शेड्यूल टाइट हो गया था, हेक्टिक शेड्यूल था, जो सुबह 4 बजे से रात को 10 बजे तक चलता था, और उसके बाद जो अनऑफिशियल पनिशमेंट्स एंड ऑल चलती थी, इट इज़ ऑल टुगेदर डिफरेंट बॉल गेम। मतलब आप सोच के कुछ और जाते हो और वहाँ होता कुछ और।
You could not jump from 5 meters, so you said that let me jump from 30,000 feet. ऐसे कुछ हुआ?
डर बहुत लगता था, मैं बहुत रोती थी वो बोर्ड पे। बहुत बार धक्के भी मारे लोगों ने स्विमिंग पूल में जंप करने के लिए। मैं न्यूजीलैंड गई थी एंड आई रिमेंबर द डेट 17 जनवरी 2019 सुबह 7:30 बजे। आई वाज द फर्स्ट वन इन द लोड एंड आई जंप्ड ऑन माय ओन 13,000 फीट से। ओपन माय ओन पैराशूट along with 2 instructors.
टेररिस्ट अटैक था
सर।
आप उस समय कहाँ पे थी? आपने क्या देखा, आंखों देखी?
सर मैं JNK में पोस्टेड थी फ्रॉम 2018 to 2020. I remember on 29th of February, the morning at 9:30, which was not expected, the airstrike had happened. And while I was standing out in my office, I actually saw an aircraft burst into flame in front of my own eyes. After that, somewhere it started to sink inside my head that, oh, this is something what has happened. This could have been your last day.
You could not jump from 5 meters, so he said that let me.
अरे मणिपुर तो चले गए, मणिपुर से कई गुना ज्यादा घटनाएं बंगाल में हुई। तो कांग्रेस के वरिष्ठ नेताओं से मैं पूछता हूं, कहां है आपकी आत्मा? अरे अधीर रंजन चौधरी जी, राहुल गांधी जी, सोनिया गांधी जी कभी बंगाल भी आएंगे? नहीं तो यहां की जनता कहेगी जब हम मर रहे थे, जब मारपीट हो रही थी, तब कांग्रेस के नेता यहां नजर नहीं आए।
Amity School of Communication has been ranked among India's top 5 mass comm institutes for the last 3 years by India Today, a testimony to its most high-tech studios, senior professionals as faculty and placements in leading media organizations. To apply, visit amity.edu.
टेररिस्ट अटैक था,
सर
आप उस समय कहां पे थी, आपने क्या देखा, आंखों देखी?
सर मैं JNK में पोस्टेड थी फ्रॉम 2018 to 2020. I remember on 29th of February, the morning at 9:30, which was not expected, the airstrike had happened. And while I was standing out in my office, I actually saw an aircraft burst into flame in front of my own eyes. After that, somewhere it started to sink inside my head that, oh, this is something what has happened. This could have been your last day.
You could not jump from 5 meters, so he said that let me jump from 30,000 feet. ऐसे कुछ हुआ?
डर बहुत लगता था, मैं बहुत रोती थी वो बोर्ड पे। बहुत बार धक्के भी मारे लोगों ने स्विमिंग पूल में जंप करने के लिए। मैं न्यूजीलैंड गई थी एंड आई रिमेंबर द डेट 17 जनवरी 2019 सुबह 7:30 बजे। आई वॉज द फर्स्ट वन इन द लोड एंड आई जम्प्ड ऑन माई ओन 13,000 फीट से।
13,000 से?
यस सर, ओपन माई ओन पैराशूट अलॉन्ग विद 2 इंस्ट्रक्टर्स।
टेररिस्ट अटैक था,
सर
आप उस समय कहां पे थी, आपने क्या देखा, आंखों देखी?
सर मैं JNK में पोस्टेड थी फ्रॉम 2018 to 2020. I remember on 29th of February, the morning at 9:30, which was not expected, the airstrike had happened. And while I was standing out in my office, I actually saw an aircraft burst into flame in front of my own eyes. After that, somewhere it started to sink inside my head that, oh, this is something what has happened. This could have been your last day.
कैसे लगा आपको जब आप पहले मुंबई की हैं आप और मुंबई से आप पहुंची एकेडमी?
मैं तभी पुशअप्स वगैरह मारती थी। मैंने जाते ही मेरे एक सीनियर बोला आप एक पुशअप कर पाओगे? मैंने डेमो टाइप 20 पुशअप किए थे तभी। पहले दिन पे मैम ने हर कैडेट को मेरे को दिखाया, देखो पुशअप्स करती है, पुशअप करती है। सेकेंड डे से जो शेड्यूल
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ankit Prasad and we are tracking a number of stories this Saturday evening. In Manipur, the I.N.D.I.A delegation has reached 20 MPs, but there is a lot else going on there in the crisis hit state. in Jammu and Kashmir, there have been SIA raids. In Maharashtra, there is a arrest by the Maharashtra ATS in a ISIS terror module that has purportedly been busted. And in the south of India, in the very south in Tamil Nadu, there is a fierce face-off after Annamalai kicked off his 6-month Padayatra with the BJP taking on the DMK government. We'll tell you all that and more on this bulletin. Let's start off first with the headlines.
इंडिया अलायंस मणिपुर के विभिन्न शिविरों में गए हैं ताकि हम लोगों का दर्द और लोगों की क्या इच्छा है वो हम और बेहतर तरीके से जान पाएं।
No end to the politics over Manipur. 20-member opposition delegation in Imphal visits violence-hit areas.
I.N.D.I.A के जो सदस्य हैं ये मणिपुर से जब वापस आए तो मेरा निवेदन है, संसद तो आप चलने नहीं देंगे तो अधीर रंजन चौधरी जी अपने पश्चिम बंगाल प्रदेश में भी लाइए।
Anurag Thakur slams the opposition, says they never spoke when Manipur suffered under previous regime. CBI formally takes over the investigation into the Manipur viral video case, conspiracy to be probed.
Why is he visiting Kolkata? Why is he visiting Bengal? Why are they not going to Manipur? The Prime Minister is silent on Manipur. The union ministers are silent on Manipur. He should be in Manipur now. He is here in Bengal and speaks about violence.
Trinamool Congress's winning candidate from the Panchayat poll election shot dead. Anurag Thakur questions law and order in the state. TMC hits back. ISIS terror module busted in Maharashtra. 4 arrested so far, as sources suggest 26/11-like attack was planned. Viewers, in big news coming in from Maharashtra, the anti-terror squad, the ATS in the state, has arrested a man from the Ratnagiri district accused of providing financial aid to 2 terror suspects who were earlier taken into custody by the Pune police on July the 18th. In total, 4 arrests have been made in this case so far. They also found, the ATS, while investigating, pictures of the Chabad house, one of the targets in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack, a visual of one of those in a piece of evidence from an electronic device that they recovered. Remember, it was the Pune police that had made the first arrests in the case. ISIS-like module was busted. 2 people were taken into custody. Since then, we are told 2 more people have been arrested as the case has been taken over by the Maharashtra anti-terror squad. From what we are given to understand, a person from Ratnagiri who has been arrested now was earlier detained. Now he has been formally arrested. To tell us more, we have Sandeep joining us. Sandeep, tell us, what is the plot that has been busted? What do the agencies think that these 4 individuals were planning?
Anti-terrorist squad, in fact, and remember how it started, Ankit. As far as this sequence is concerned, on 18th of July, there were 2 individuals who were trying to steal a bike in Pune's Kondwa area, and in fact, at that point of time, the Pune local police, Kondwa's local police patrolling team nabbed these people, and in fact, there were 3 people who were trying to steal a bike, and at that point of time, when they were in fact nabbed and arrested, when the interrogation took place, it was revealed that they are a wanted accused in an I.N.D.I.A case that is being investigated in regards of a case related to Rajasthan. Remember, last year in Rajasthan, Rajasthan ATS had arrested 3 people from Rajasthan, in fact, and in fact had recovered explosive from there. Now this case was overtaken by national investigating agencies. Apart from that, a charge sheet was also filed on 22nd of September, that point of time, last year. Now, these these were the people who were associated to Al-Sufa terror group. this is linked to international notorious terror organization ISIS. Now there were networks, there were sleeper cell who were working out here, and Muhammad Yunus Saki, Muhammad Imran, and these people, Abdul Qadir, and one more person who is being arrested by Ratnagiri, was also associated to Al-Sufa gang. And in fact, it appeared in the investigation that they were planning to, in fact, planning an attack like 26/11. And this is the Chabda house. And in fact, this is Chabda house. This is the place wherein it was during the 26/11 attack. This very building was in fact attacked by the terrorists. Remember, Abdul Ajmal Kasab and the rest of his terrorists in fact had attacked out here. Remember, Baby Mushe was inside this very place. This place was also wrecked by these very terrorists. And I would like to show you the visuals. We have been restricted to go inside this street, but as you see, the police is being also deployed out there. But at this point of time, you see the vehicle of the police officials out here. Several police staff has been deployed to make sure that no untoward action takes place out here. So definitely in a major breakthrough to anti-terrorist squad of Maharashtra, they have arrested 4 people so far from the Al-Sufa terror outfit group. And in fact, remember, this is the case which is being parallelly investigated by national investigating agencies. So definitely it will be very much crucial, Ankit, to see how many more people who will be arrested in upcoming days. But yes, the investigation is underway, and what we have been told is that these 4 people in fact had tried experimenting a blast in a jungle of Maharashtra. They were checking the intensity of the bomb that they have made. So Ankit, a lot of things that have come out from the investigation.
Sandeep.
The investigation is underway. It will be very much crucial to see how the investigation proceeds further.
Sandeep, stay with us. From what I am given to understand, the first 2 who were arrested in the case, they were already wanted by the NIA, were they not? They had a bounty on their heads. So can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Exactly, Ankit. As I mentioned, in Rajasthan last year, when a raid was conducted at a resident at a home by Rajasthan ATS, RDX was seized. And in fact, in the same very case, on 10th of September 2022, charge sheet was filed by National Investigating Agency, and in fact there were several terror suspects who were on the run, who were wanted. There was a 5 lakh rupees of 5 lakh announced for these terror who were in fact wanted in this case. So they were in fact plotting a terror 26/11 like attack out here in Maharashtra. And where this Al-Sufa terror organization come from? This belongs to Ratlam, Madhya Pradesh. Remember, on 18th of July, in fact itself, the National Investigating Agency had seized properties of one of the terrorists associated to Al-Sufa group in Ratlam, Madhya Pradesh. So it is the same case that is being investigated by NIA, and in fact, these people who have been arrested by Maharashtra ATS are associated to Al-Sufa, and this case is linked to that Rajasthan ATS case.
Absolutely. So Sandeep, they're tying the knots together as the ATS now, Maharashtra ATS, continues to investigate the case based on evidence that has been found. They've also hiked the security at where Sandeep is reporting now at Chabad House in Mumbai. We'll be tracking this very closely. I thank Sandeep for joining us on this news breaking. Meanwhile, viewers, let's bring you up to date with all the biggest stories from today.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Political analyst and publisher Badri Sheshadri has been arrested by the Tamil Nadu police over a comment about the Manipur violence. The arrest happened early in the morning over an interview given to a YouTube channel last week in which he spoke about the Manipur violence, the roles of the Kuki, Meitei and Naga communities, as well as the ruling BJP government in the state. Union Home Minister Amit Shah paid a visit to the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam House in Tamil Nadu. Amit Shah is on a 2-day visit to the state, and there he unveiled a book, Memories Never Die, a tribute to the life and legacy of our late former President APJ Abdul Kalam.
अब्दुल कलाम की पुण्यतिथि गई है। 27 तारीख को उनकी पुण्यतिथि होती है, हम सब जानते हैं। पूरा जीवन जिन्होंने पढ़ने और पढ़ाने में व्यतीत किया, उनकी अंतिम सांस भी मेघालय में विद्यार्थियों को पढ़ाते पढ़ाते गई। ये उनके कमिटमेंट की एक निशानी है।
An 11-year-old was brutally gang raped in Satna district of Madhya Pradesh. The residence of the accused was demolished after the horrific incident came to light. The minor was reportedly missing since last Thursday. A Trinamool Panchayat poll winning candidate has been killed in South 24 Parganas district. Maimur Gharami, the TMC winning candidate in Arjunpur area, was murdered after bullets were fired at him, in which 2 others were also injured. The police suspects a land dispute angle in the case. In the latest update, 4 people have been detained and the investigation is continuing. At least 7 people died and 10 sustained burn injuries in an explosion at a firecracker storage godown in Tamil Nadu on Saturday morning. The incident took place in Krishnagiri district. 4 people were killed and 10 were injured after they came into contact with a high-tension wire while preparing for a Muharram procession in Jharkhand's Bokaro district. A religious flag somehow came into contact with a high-tension electric wire, electrocuting several present there. All the injured people were taken to the nearby hospital. The State Investigation Agency carried out raids at several locations in Poonch in J&K. Several locations were raided across Mandi village in connection with narco-terror. At least 6 people died and 21 were injured after 2 luxury travel buses collided on the National Highway 6 in Maharashtra's Buldana district. One of the buses was carrying pilgrims from the Amarnath Yatra to Hingoli, while the other bus was on its way from Nagpur to Nasik. Further investigation is underway. Indian naval ship Kanjar has safely brought back 36 Indian fishermen who were stranded 130 nautical miles from the Tamil Nadu coast in the Bay of Bengal. The fishermen were on board 3 fishing vessels which were towed by the INS Kanjar for more than 30 hours in challenging sea conditions. The Bharatiya Janata Party on Saturday released a list of its central office bearers, which includes former Telangana Unit Chief Bandi Kumar Sanjay and Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament Radha Mohan Agarwal, who have been appointed as the party's National General Secretaries. The move comes as the party prepares for the upcoming assembly elections in states that include Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Telangana. We have a lot more news coming up, viewers. There seems to be no end to the politics over Manipur. A 20-member opposition delegation has landed in Imphal. It's been visiting the violence-hit areas. And Trinamool Congress's Panchayat poll election winning candidate shot dead. Anurag Thakur, who is in the state, is questioning the law and order there. The Trinamool Congress via Minister Shashi Panja has hit back. We'll tell you all about it in just a few seconds. Stay with us.
Could not jump from 5 meters, so he said that let me jump from 30,000 feet. ऐसे कुछ हुआ?
डर बहुत लगता था, मैं बहुत रोती थी वो बोर्ड पे, बहुत बार धक्के भी मारे लोगों ने स्विमिंग पूल में जंप करने के लिए. मैं न्यूजीलैंड गई थी and I remember the date 17 January 2019 सुबह 7:30 बजे. I was the first one in the load and I jumped on my own 13,000 feet से.
13,000 से?
Yes sir, opened my own parachute along with 2 instructors.
टेररिस्ट अटैक था
सर.
आप उस समय कहाँ पे थी, आपने क्या देखा, आंखों देखी?
सर मैं JNK में पोस्टेड थी फ्रॉम 2018 to 2020. I remember on 29th of February, the morning at 9:30, which was not expected, the airstrike had happened. And while I was standing out in my office, I actually saw an aircraft burst into flame in front of my own eyes. After that, somewhere it started to sink inside my head that, oh, this is something what has happened. This could have been your last day.
You could not jump from 5 meters, so he said that let me jump from 30,000 feet. ऐसे कुछ हुआ?
डर बहुत लगता था, मैं बहुत रोती थी वो बोर्ड पे, बहुत बार धक्के भी मारे लोगों ने स्विमिंग पूल में जंप करने के लिए। मैं न्यूजीलैंड गई थी एंड आई रिमेंबर द डेट 17 जनवरी 2019 सुबह 7:30 बजे। आई वाज द फर्स्ट वन इन द लोड एंड आई जंप्ड ऑन माय ओन 13,000 फीट से।
13,000 से?
यस सर, ओपन माय ओन पैराशूट along with 2 instructors.
टेररिस्ट अटैक था
सर।
आप उस समय कहाँ पे थी, आपने क्या देखा, आंखों देखी?
सर मैं JNK में पोस्टेड थी फ्रॉम 2018 to 2020. I remember on 29th of February, the morning at 9:30, which was not expected, the airstrike had happened. And while I was standing out in my office, I actually saw an aircraft burst into flame in front of my own eyes. After that, somewhere it started to sink inside my head that, oh, this is something what has happened. This could have been your last day.
कैसे लगा आपको जब आप पहले मुंबई की हैं आप और मुंबई से आप पहुंची एकेडमी?
और दिल्ली के आकाओं को खुश करो। हर स्तर पर भ्रष्टाचार है। आजकल लाल डायरी की खूब चर्चा है। आप सबके ध्यान में आया होगा कि किस तरीके से जब पाप का घड़ा भरता है तो वो इस तरीके से उजागर होता है और भ्रष्टाचार स्पष्ट रूप में हम सबको देखने को मिल रहा है। महिला उत्पीड़न लगभग अगर हम देखें तो 18 से 19 रेप केसेस हर दिन रिपोर्ट हो रहे हैं। लगभग 7 से 8 मर्डर्स रिपोर्ट हो रहे हैं। क्राइम का वो हाल हो गया है और विशेष करके दलित महिलाओं का जिस तरीके से शोषण हो रहा है